Cheap stocks, fat premiums. Here are my 15 favorite wheel strategy stocks that are all under $30. Yo, what's going on, Premium Chasers? I hope you are having a God-blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below is going to get this full list, but in like an organized ebook format. That way you can take it with you and not have to watch this video every time you're looking for some inspiration on some, quote-unquote cheaper stocks. And that's what we're going to start in today's video, guys. So if you want that full list, just drop a comment. I'll personally respond to you with that ebook. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us grow the channel, and it's completely for free, guys. Come on, do me a favor. But today, guys, we're going to be going over these quote-unquote cheaper stocks. And I want to talk about the word cheap real quick, just because a stock is under $30, right? It's not, a growth stock so that it's exploding. Doesn't mean that it's a bad company. So here are 15 of some of my favorite wheel strategy stocks. They don't fit great into like ARK option strategy because a lot of them don't offer necessarily a dividend, but they are great, I think, for beginners that are just getting their feet wet with this whole selling options thing. So let's go over the shoulder. The first one is Fiverr. This has hit our list here the past few days here. A lot of people in our community have jumped into Fiverr here recently because it has been in a bit of a slump. If you don't know what Fiverr is, basically you can pay people a little bit of money to outsource a bunch of stuff for you, right? For me as a business owner and just stuff I want to outsource to my day-to-day life, Fiverr is a company I use like all of the time. Like quite literally a month does not go by that I don't use Fiverr, and I've been using it for well over a decade now. You could see the setup wise, it is setting up very, very nicely towards its bottom Bollinger Band and trading, not too far below its 200 and 300 day moving averages, but it came up on our screener here and it's very heavily oversold right now, which is setting up very, very nicely for some cash secured puts if it's a stock that you like. Now, quickly as we go through this video, guys, I'm not going to give a breakdown of why I love every single company. Otherwise, this video is going to be 45 minutes long. This video is more for educational, and if there's something that catches your eye, take it, run with it, and go research the company, build your own conviction in these stocks. One of the reasons that I think I've had, kind of some success in selling options is because I have a lot of high conviction stocks, right? Like for example, today, right? I've reaped the rewards of Pepsi, right? Pepsi was a company that I've talked about so many times on this channel. Has been getting absolutely beat up, and I reap the rewards from it, right? But that's me. I'm a believer in it. You got to go find your high conviction stocks, right? That you believe in for yourself. And that's what this video is all about, getting you ideas, but you have to take this stuff and go research it for yourself. Can't stress it enough. Let's move on to stock number 2. Otherwise, this video gonna be like an hour long, all right? And I got stuff to do, right? But second one is similar to Fiverr. Of course, you guys know I like my niches in selling options. So that is Upwork, another great company that I use very, very heavily. Not a great setup, but you could see we just crossed above our 300-day moving average on Upwork here. Not setting up really, really nicely. Obviously, it was decently earlier this week and a couple months ago for some cash secured puts, but right now it's kind of just been, fell off a bit of a cliff here and just struggling a bit. Now, a quick little reminder, guys, the nice part about selling options is that if you really like a company, you can always get it under market value by selling like weeklies or something like that, and you're playing close to the money and collect a little bit of premium along the way. Just because it's not trading exactly at the bottom Bollinger Band doesn't mean that you don't want to maybe do the trade. Maybe you actually want to own the company. Maybe you want to just buy 100 shares and run covered calls like I did with our live portfolio. Make sure you tune into those videos, right? So I can't stress it enough, right? That's what's cool about selling options. As long as you are cool owning 100 shares of that company at a price that you choose, there's no right or wrong time, honestly, right? There's ideal times for sure if you want to maximize your premium and stuff like that, right? And maximize the strike that you get. But, at the end of the day, it all comes down to the one key question is, hey, do you want to own that stock at that price, right? That you're choosing, right? Next one we're going into is Conagra Brands. Actually, during our pre-market call today, it was funny, guys. So I've been watching this one heavily. The ROI on premiums haven't been good. It is a falling knife. You already know I love falling knives on these staple consumer brands like this that own a ton of products. Guess what? I'm outside. This is not a made up story. I'm telling you, this ain't a made up story, right? I'm outside yesterday and we had like sunflower seeds in our cupboard. And I'm like, I haven't had sunflower seeds in quite a bit of time. And I grabbed them along with my poppy, right? I only use products that I invest in, right? And I turn over the bag and it says says a Conagra brand, the Dole sunflower seeds. I think it was a sign, folks. It was a sign. I was poking fun at that in my pre-market call this morning. But with that said, this is a bit of a falling knife right here, but I am bullish on this. I don't have any open positions right now on this, but I'm watching this thing, man. Once those premiums start looking a little bit juicier, I'm going to be going at it. This is going to be the one, and most likely it will be the next one that I go into on our live portfolio here on the channel. You could see trading well below our 2 and 300-day moving averages here. Just a falling knife, just getting absolutely beat up. Look at this thing, right? Even over the past 5 years, man, this thing is just going down. But with that said, you know, I love the brands they own. I own a lot of their brands, and you know what? Great dividend, great for ARC options. It's cheaper. I don't know. I do feel like it's gonna have a run up here soon. I genuinely do believe that. That's my conviction, right? Because I love these kind of consumer staple brands or businesses that own a lot of brands. I don't know. It gives me a little sense of security in a way that they're kind of diversified, if you want to look at it that way, right? And I bet you own a lot of Conagra brands products in your house and you don't even know it yet, right? Next one is American Airlines, mentioned many times on this channel. Right now, you know, the airlines are getting kind of blown up, right? They're all kind of trading towards their top Bollinger Bands, right? This one's still just under its 300-day moving average, but it's a fantastic company right now for covered calls because again, we are towards the top of this Bollinger Band. So, right, bottom Bollinger Band, cash secured puts ideal. Top of the Bollinger Band, covered call ideal, right? That maximizes your strike price on your contract and also maximizes your ROI on your collateral. American Airlines, mentioned it many times, not much else left for me to say. Ford, another one, great dividend payer, fantastic dividend payer. Been on a bit of a tear here recently, guys. Like it's interesting seeing at 11. I haven't sold much on this in a while. It's getting a little bit of a pullback. I mean, the spread is just massive now on Ford here on the Bollinger Band. For me personally, the way I trade Ford is I want to be below, especially for my cash secured puts, below the 2 and 300-day moving averages. Me personally, I'm waiting until this thing gets back in that 10 range. I don't like Ford, like when it's kind of like shoots up like this and makes these drastic moves like we're seeing a lot of stocks doing. So it's trading kind of right towards the middle. But I'm just waiting. For an ideal setup for Ford once we kind of hopefully cross below the 200-day moving average of 1030. So we'll be watching that. But this is great for the dividend, right? Guys, as you already know, what we do here is the ARC option strategy, all right? And what is the ARC option strategy? We're combining 5 sources of income and premium generation into one simple option strategy that once you kind of nail it down and understand the ropes, really doesn't take more than like 15 minutes a day or maybe an hour a week, depends how much you want to actually, how much effort you want to put towards it. But we're combining our cash secured put premiums, right? We're collecting interest on our collateral from the cash secured puts. When we get assigned, we're collecting covered call premiums. We're collecting dividends on our covered calls as well. And then of course the inevitable appreciation sale when we actually sell our shares. Guys, this video is going already we're at 9 minutes, guys. We got to start moving here. We're not even halfway through. All right. Next one is Honest. You already know your boy loves his Honest company. I'm not going to go into my story as to why, but it is setting up very, very nicely for cash secured puts, dipping below its 300-day moving averages. So I actually got to take a look at that once I'm done recording here because I might jump into some of those. Oh, let's go. I did not notice yet this morning that Campbell's has shot up over 31. Let's go. Maybe one day I will be able to close out my cash secured put on Campbell's that I have in the live portfolio for my 30 cash secured put. I actually didn't mind even getting assigned here because again, falling knives, baby. Let's go. These consumer staple that own a lot of brands gives me my diversification that I like, products that I use in my house. Trading below 2 and 300-day moving average, still a great setup. You already know. You probably own a whole bunch of Campbell's products in your cupboard, and also a great dividend payer. Great. It's under. I put it at. In this video, I know some of you made 31p. Well, guess what? Do the 30 puts. All right, do the 30 puts. Do the $29 puts. Boom, you're locking up $2,900 or $3,000 exactly. Let's move on. Moving on to Snapchat. This is an interesting one. This one I put in my risky bucket. A couple weeks ago, I did bring up that I was doing some cash secured puts on this thing. I do believe in it as a platform for creators. I'm personally I use it primarily for like very close friends and family members as a form of communication. I'm sure a lot of you guys do, but their creator fund is probably top tier next to YouTube AdSense platform. I think they take care of their creators probably the best next to YouTube in terms of like paying these kind of people out. So for me, I do have a bit of a belief in Snapchat. However, it's still in my like degenerate category for sure. For sure. I definitely lumped this in there, but had some great cash figure puts that I could close out on Snapchat. And we are just getting to our 200-day moving average. We're going to see if we can go above that. I will be completely shocked if we do. That would be absolutely insane. Next one is A10 Networks. You guys know I love the IT and networking security products. This is not a very liquid stock. Not a lot of options, pun intended, of course. However, this is one when I see big moves on this, I will jump into it if I have some extra capital that I'm just looking to get working, right? And this is why it's important as you get into option side. I do stress it takes about a year to really lock in and get into all the different scenarios that you can with as an option seller, right? Because eventually you're going to get to a point where you want all your money, not all of it, but you always want to have dry powder on the sidelines, but you're going to want your money working for you. And sometimes you might have like, hey, I got $1,800 right now. What can I jump into to make that work, right? And I'm looking for maybe a little bit more moderate risk kind of setup, right? And that's where these kind of having a nice watch list of like cheaper stuff to fill the gaps, right, really does add up over time. Next one, Barrick Gold, Barrick Mining, not much to kind of cover here. It gives exposure to gold, which is fantastic. Done a lot of cash secured puts and covered calls. I mean, not much else to say for Barrick Gold here. Why do I like Barrick Gold? Well, because at least I get a little bit more dividend on B here, okay? A lot of these other ones, you're not getting necessarily dividend. So for me, I'm obviously going to go with the dividend payer, okay? Next one, quickly. We're not talking about SoFi much more today. Oh, shocker. Another 2% up today. Wow. So we're not going to talk about this. We talk about it enough on the channel. SoFi, obviously, one of my, I would say, top 5 favorite stocks to run the wheel strategy on. Obviously, that's a big one that we do on our live portfolio here on a weekly basis. So make sure you stay tuned for those videos. Next one is Intel. Talked about this one a few times as well in the past. Love-hate relationship with this one here. However, it's still a decent ROI on collateral. Again, to fill those gaps on a smaller budget. Hasn't had any crazy setups. Had covered calls on this last week. However, it's just kind of in limbo right now, trading below its 300-day moving average. But it's nice because this one does kind of really move in kind of a tighter spread formation here, given opportunities for the covered calls to exit the positions and obviously get into it at decent prices. Okay. Next one is going to be Kraft Heinz. You guys see, like I'm very niche, right? I do like IT products, consumer staples, and then like products I use like a $5 Upwork kind of stuff, right? And Kraft Heinz was a great play we actually had inside of our community. A lot of us jumped into cash secured puts on this, and then boom, just like that, we are basically able to close out our cash secured puts within a couple of weeks, which is fantastic. We walk away with that premium. Unfortunately, no assignment, but we walk away with that premium. And as long as that premium hits our ROI on collateral goals, hey, sleeping good at night. Moving on, AT&T, another love-hate relationship stock, but you know what? I still love this thing. It's actually set up nicely for cash secured puts, but I personally refuse to get into this thing if it's not below its 200- and 300-day moving average. This thing has given me many of the sweats selling options. However, it's good. It has a decent premium. It has a decent dividend, but I would like to see this back under its 200- and 300-day moving averages. And then moving on to our final one, and that is Warner Bros. Actually doing a tear up today, or not tear, it was just about 1%. Oh, wow. Okay. I might have to do... I didn't even realize this one when I was pulling this one up. It has been on a tear here recently, so I might have to jump into some covered calls on this thing. Here, obviously, we are well above our 200- and 300-day moving averages, so I'm going to look into this a little bit more. I have some shares of this thing that I can run some covered calls on, but this is also a fantastic one. Again, low cost one, and a lot of you probably are subscribed to a lot of the services and products that Warner Bros. owns. Guys, let me know what stocks that you guys love that are under $30. Make sure to drop that down below. And also, I'm going to send you the full ebook of all of this in a simple ebook, one pager. That way you can just download it and have that sheet if you're ever looking for some inspiration that you can go and then research for yourself. Also, if you're somebody that wants to take your option selling to the next level, or get assistance with your options selling and you want to be part of a mastermind community of people doing this day in and day out, we have a 1-year-long program called the Option Seller School that's going to teach you everything you need to know, give you all the resources, give you an incredible network of individuals to be a part of that all they do is talk about this day in and day out. If you want to learn more about Option Seller Schools, click the first link in the description of today's video. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.